This plant is gonna love it. It's gonna love it. It looks, I know it's scary right now. You're like, what did you just do? This plant is gonna love it. It's gonna perform so much better. Hey guys, welcome to the Crouch Ranch. Today we're gonna talk about peppers, and specifically we're gonna talk about topping peppers. This is a subject, I don't wanna say it's controversial, but it's talked about a lot and it's debated a lot. And some people say you've got to do it and some people say you should never do it. And they're both right and they're both wrong. It's totally your call. But I'm going to tell you what I've discovered about topping peppers, about what the results have been from topping peppers, why I top peppers and when I top peppers. And then I'm going to top a few and show you how I do it. The first thing is, what happens when you top a pepper? Well, let me just show you two peppers that are exactly the same age. I've been growing them under the same conditions, under the same lights, with the same food, from the same seeds, from the same pepper. This one I topped 2 weeks ago and this one I did not. I'm sure you can see a big difference, but let's go ahead and explore closely what's going on. So if you note, the pepper that I topped is obviously shorter than the pepper that I did not top, but you're also going to note is that at each of these leaves that was here, we have a branch coming out. So it's really getting bushier. And then up here at the top, where I took the top off, it is branching out, it's teeing out. So we're gonna have a tee coming off the top of this. This is gonna be a much bushier pepper. Now, glance over here at the one that I did not top. Notice inside these leaves, we're not seeing any nodes, although there's a little node down here on this one, but it just hasn't been encouraged to really start pushing those branches out yet. If you come all the way up to the top, you'll see that it is beginning to Y on the top. So it is gonna bush out at the top, but it's gonna be much more top heavy and it's gonna be much taller and kind of lankier than the one that I topped. This one's gonna be a bushier pepper and this one's gonna be a taller and a lankier pepper. Now let's talk about the actual yield. So what's the end result? What are we gonna yield out of these plants, topped versus untopped? Well, some people will tell you that when you top a pepper, it's going to cause it to yield more. I do not find that to be true at all. I do not find a difference in the total yield from a pepper plant. But what I do find is quality. I find a higher quality in the yield. When you have a squattier, bushier pepper plant, you know, if you grow a lot of peppers, you know, a lot of times they require staking because they will fall over, a little bit of wind. With a squattier, bushier plant, it's easier to stake. I can put one stake down the middle of it, tie it to it, and that thing will really hold on to it. With these lanky things like this, I have to get a little more creative. The other thing is peppers are very susceptible to sunburn. So when the peppers are protected underneath of leaves, they don't burn, right? Well, which one of these looks like it's headed down a life to where it's going to be able to protect its fruit better? Definitely the bushier plant, right? So I personally feel that topping plants is a good idea. I don't think that you get more of a yield out of it, but I do think that you get a better quality and an overall better experience with the plant. Let's look at how to top a pepper plant. How about that? Okay, what we're looking at right here is about a half a tray of Craig's Grande Jalapeno. I got the seeds from Baker Seeds, and I started these indoors under lights with some heat mats, and I've been growing them under lights up to this point. These plants have not really seen the outside. I'll be going through another video on how to harden them off when it comes time for that. But let's talk about topping these peppers. I'm going to top every single one of these Craig's jalapenos. Okay, we have two different specimens here, really, in how they're growing of the exact same plant. Notice how this one has already begun to tee off at the very top. And if you look very closely, if the camera person can get down there, we have a little flower right here, okay? So this bad boy is already trying to create its first pepper. That's bad. I mean, it's doing that because it's happy and I've been taking great care of it and it's liking the lighting conditions and the temperature and the food that I'm giving it, but it is way too early for this plant to produce any peppers, okay? So this one has not started to tee yet, but notice how we've got kind of the tops really kind of blossoming out right here. So I'm going to take the entire top off of both of these, okay? Now, I could top these all the way down to here if I wanted to, but I don't need to. I'm going to take this beautiful, pretty top with all that new growth, and I'm going to come down to right above the next set of leaves. I'm going to go in as close to a 45 as I can, and I'm just going to take that top right off, okay? Now what's going to happen is this plant is now going to be encouraged to grow additional branches and leaves out of the nodes in between, okay? So let's look at this one here. This one's a real bummer to top. You're like, oh, I don't want to do it. I'm already going to get a pepper off of it. You do not want these things making peppers this early. So I'm going to come in underneath. I'm just going to pick, you see how these leaves are kind of staggered? And if I come all the way down below this T to the top of this next main leaf, and I'm going to go at an angle like this, and I'm going to take that whole top off, and that little baby pepper and all that is going bye-bye. And this plant is going to love it. It's going to love it. It looks, I know it's scary right now. You're like, what did you just do? This plant is going to love it. It's going to perform so much better. How's it look?
It looks holly jolly.
Yeah.
I like your garnish, Michael.
Yeah, you like that?
Mm-hmm.
It was not my idea.
I know.
Let's just talk real quick about kind of some stages of this pepper's life before these peppers ever make it out to the garden. We have here a Trinidad Butch Tea Scorpion. Beautiful plant, very happy, been growing under grow lights, not ready to top, okay? Now, over here beside it, what do we have here? We have a peachadoo. Notice how this peachadoo is, it's getting close. This is gonna be a shorter, squattier plant, but it's not quite ready, okay? Then we have a Craig's jalapeno that I've just topped, okay? And then here, we have actually, I'm gonna probably do another video on this. You know, those of y'all that know about hybrids, you're looking at that F2 going, eh? Yeah, I'll talk about that. But anyway, this is a second year or an F2 from something that somebody else created that I'm trying to stabilize here. It's been topped 2 weeks ago, and it's really starting to bush out nicely. It has a beautiful top coming back in. So that's kind of the stages here. At this stage, it's really getting close to what you would plant outside. I'm in zone 9. I can plant outside a lot sooner than some of you guys. But once you plant it outside, you can continue to prune it. You can come in and take one of these plants that you've topped, and you can say, you know, I really don't like the way this leaf's growing up here, and it's kind of starting to take it in a weird direction. You can top a couple of those big leaves back off and cause it to then push, you know, some of its energy into these leaves down here. When I'm using grow lights, like I am indoors right now, those big leaves actually are kind of preventing some of the good light from getting to the smaller leaves. So there's nothing wrong with taking some of those big leaves just right off, just like that, and letting that sunlight get in there to the inside of the plant, or in my case, grow lights. So have fun, top your plants. They will like you for it. You will like them for it. You will be happy with the end result. And, you know, don't be scared. Don't be scared to try something new. Grow lots of pepper plants. Peppers are awesome. Thanks for stopping by the Crouch Ranch, guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you get the notifications, all that other stuff that I forget in what order I'm supposed to say it.
And what's your name?
My name is, hey Frankie, what's my name? What's my name?
Say my name, say my name. It's Michael.
Is it Michael? You mean Michael?
Yeah, I'm Mike, guys. I'm Mike from the Crouch Ranch. Have a good night.